when you got the new script, when you got the script that we shot, do you remember losing any of Ike Clanton's character?
There was a scene that was taken out. It might have been, I'm not sure if it was the card scene or the slap scene after that, but I do remember saying to Jim Jakes, if you remove that scene, I'm going home.
Right.
And I lost a bunch of scenes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I said, if you take that scene out, then the character's gone, and I don't give a shit. You can sue me, but I'm going home. So he did put that scene back. And I think that, and so I lived with that. Look, I'm a team guy, a team player at heart. I recognized that everybody was going to lose stuff. And in the final cut, I have to say that Ike came out better than some.
Yes, he did.
That's
because you were so fucking good. All right, so I'm gonna put that out there.
I don't want to. Look, everybody was good. It was a special part. You said, I don't know if you remember this, Michael, but you and I, we butted heads more than once on that, and that's fine. And I'll tell you why. There was a lot of testosterone on that set.
Right.
There was a lot of sharp elbows and doubled fists on that set. That's the way it fucking was. And you know what? That's the life of it. That was cool.
Right.
That was totally cool.
Yeah.
Part of it. I enjoyed every moment except when I was mad as hell about something. But in any case, you cornered me one day. You said, and we went out a lot. We were out. We had
of course we were. With John Corbett.
You said to me, to Sam and everybody.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something on another subject. When we go out with Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, and who was the most popular guy? Who was everybody coming up to?
Sam Elliott?
No, it wasn't. It was 902.
The kid.
It was.
But you remember the
you know who I'm talking about? He played Billy.
Yeah.
Jason Priest.
I'm sorry, Jason, for forgetting. You're the best.
Were you at the cast reading where we all sat down and it was like everybody in the movie reading their roles?
Yeah, probably. But I'm not sure I remember it. But.
Well, he ended up vomiting. I don't know if you remember.
Jason did?
Jason did during the reading, because it was the next morning. It was like a Saturday morning. We'd been out the night before on a Friday.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of that. There was a lot of vomiting on that. Oh, I could tell you. I'll tell you some. I got some stories.
Tell
about
me,
that.
please.
I don't know if I want to, but in any case, I just wanted to get back to the thing where you came up to me.
Okay.
You got right in my space.
Really?
Everybody was always getting in everybody's space on this movie. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Val would get in your space, and
Not my space.
I'll tell you, not mine either. I'll tell you about that. But you said to me, Stephen, there's too many leading men in this movie. You said that because, and I said, well, then quit, because I ain't going nowhere. And I just felt like we were all carving our own space in that movie. And if Ike is a successful character, it's because I realized that what he had to be just this sort of, if I could take cowardice and kind of elevate it into some sort of,
Tell me about doing that, because I've heard you talk about.
Did you study Ike at all, or read?
Oh, sure, I read about Ike, but it's not like there's all that much to.
Especially back then, we didn't have the internet or anything.
Well, I mean, there was
you get a sense
no
of him.
film of him either, but
I had a good sense of him.
He had just lost his father a couple of months before.
His father, what you think that was a bad thing? Well, I mean, the old man Clanton was a bad dude, and I'll tell you what he did was he horsewhipped Ike Clanton.
Yeah.
Now, did that happen? I don't know, but in my version, it did.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what it was, and that's the kind of thing that can turn you. If Ike had a virtue, it was that he could threaten you even as he was backing out as a coward. I mean, he could play it both ways.
Thank you. Talk more about that.
That's a real kind of a
around here while he's walking away. Yeah.
That's a Clanton characteristic, or an Ike Clanton characteristic,
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Billy, which was really, really marvelously articulated by Thomas Hayden Church, and everything. He was a viper, a real serpent, more danger. more dangerous, I think, in a way than Ike was. You know, Ike was a lot of talk, but one of the things I always felt about Ike was, for whatever he is, he's a good cowboy. He's a good cowboy. He knows how to cowboy. Yeah. And I think that's a virtue. And when these guys, when Curly Bill and Ringo and the other guys, when they're not spatting with each other, when they're not putting each other down, they do pretty well together. So that was my kind of take on him.
I certainly don't remember saying to you there are too many fucking movie stars in this, but do you think I was indicating to you that like you should off. Really?
Oh yeah, it was a back off.
Really?
We did that. Yeah, but I think, look, it's all part of the work. It was all, it was Biehn you were Ringoing me a little bit, and I had to Ike you back, a little bit,
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Listen, dude, you were a dark son of a gun, and you occupied a different sort of a space.
I did.
Than Val did, because in another iteration. Because there's a lot of similarity between Ringo and Doc. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you remind me of me.
They recognize
exactly.
each other too.
Exactly. And Ringo's eternal. Anyway, that happened, and a zillion other things happened. I mean, my goodness, there was a lot of violence implied and actually articulated and happened on that set,
Stephen,
as you know.
When I got the script back after all this stuff had been cut, right?
Yeah.
The scene that I got cut, all right, was as after Curly Bill was killed.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the cowboys who was at the shooting comes running up, yelling about, "Oh my God, you've seen Wyatt Earp," and blah blah blah. And Ringo says, "He's just a man." And the cowboy says, "Well, you didn't see his face." And Ringo says, "Well, you see my face, don't you?" Everybody get this through their heads. Wyatt Earp dies. I'm running the show now, and I'm telling you, Earp dies. His men too. They all die. You understand? We're going to kill him. You hear me? For what they did to Curly Bill, we're going to ride him into the ground and slaughter him like rabbits. Because this is my time, children. This is my time to get woolly.
Ooh. I like the tail end of that. This is my time, children, and my time to get woolly. Ooh. Well, I'm sorry you didn't get to say that.
Well, so am I. So am I.
Are we done with Tombstone?
What, do you have anything else? I mean,
no.
Please. I mean,
I'm sure we'll cycle back to it.
You got to have Kurt on. You have to have Kurt on.
I would love to have Kurt
What
on.
I would like to have, here's what I think should happen. I think the Academy should do a screening of Tombstone and have yourself and Kurt and Sam and whoever, and Rooker, whoever
Yes.
they should come, because I'll tell you, we'd fill the house.
I know.
Because as you say, that film, it's a beloved film. And so the only reason I brought it up again was because it really is such a touch point between you and I. Certainly, it's such an important part of our careers, and it's where you and I kind of come together in a big way. So it was, I'll just say to finish it, that I'm so honored to be part of it, and I feel privileged to have worked with the likes of yourself and Kurt and Val and Sam and everybody else.
One of the things that, I'm not sure that you knew this, but because we were coming and going. I was living in LA, so I wasn't. So here's the thing, and I want you to put your stamp on this. All right. I get so tired of people asking me or telling me that Kurt Russell directed that movie, okay? And I've always said, when you direct a movie, there's pre-production, there's production, there's post-production, and that movie was kind of directed by a committee. Would you agree with that?
And yes, I would. The only qualification I always want to make on that is that I don't like taking it away from Cosmatos, just because George did have his imprint on that movie. He was there on a day-to-day basis. He was crazy. He'd never made a Western before, but he knew how to swing a lens. That's what I will always say about George, you know? So he's the director who gets credited, and I like to give him some credit for it. Having said that, without Kurt, without the committee, as it were, because Val had a lot to say about it. I had shit to say about it too, and I'm sure you did as well. Without Kurt, there's no movie. There's no question of that. But did Kurt direct the movie? It says directed by George Cosmatos, and I'm good with that.
I have told
that's
this.
Where I come down.
I've told this before, and this is true too. Is when I met George Cosmatos, I was in a group. This is George. Hi. This is Michael Biehn. Hi. He said, "Nice to meet you." I said, "Hi."
Nice to meet you.
All right, and you're doing an impression.
Dude, it's out of focus. It's out of focus.
It's not out of focus, George. You just can't see.
It's out of focus, Billy. Fuck.
How many camera operators did he fire? Do you
Oh
remember
my
that?
God! Yeah, we went through them like.
One of my bitches and my moans about that movie is that the day that I did, and I'm not sure you were working that day. I know Powers and a couple of the day that I did. I want your blood. I want your soul. Drunk. Were you there?
I was watching it.
Okay. So what they did that day, if you remember correctly, they spent like not only all morning, but all morning and a lot of the afternoon shooting Val, getting a shave, and then standing up and then saying, well, I'll be your, whatever you say, oh, that's just my game, or whatever it was. And then I turned my attention to him because I'm yelling at Wyatt Earp, you know?
Right.
So by the time they got around to me, one of the reasons I wanted to play that movie is so I could say, I want your blood and I want your soul and I want them both right now. Yeah. One of the best lines I've ever had, you know? So by the time they got to me, the sun was fucking going down. So they got a couple of takes. I was happy with it. I was happy with what I did. I showed up in dailies the next day. Out of fucking focus. If you look at that scene, and if you look at Johnny Ringo,
So George was right.
George was right about that.
It's out of focus, Billy.
They spent too much time. Powers and I used to call it Valitis, that everybody was just all about Val.
It wasn't. A lot of it was about Val. A lot of it was about Val. You know, yeah, I've told this story before when Val first came up to me. Like I said before, people got in each other's space, right?
Yes.
Val got in my space. The third day I'd been with him, I said, whoa, hold on a minute. I said, look, from now on, Val, I'm just going to discount the first, say, 90 seconds that we're together because it takes you that long to get through your bullshit. Yeah. And he went, whoa, like that, backed up a little. And Val and I never had a fucking problem. Yeah. After that. The other story I'll tell just to end it, and this would end anything.
Now I'm going to, because I got another one.
4 o'clock in the morning, we're in Mescal, right?
Yeah, of course we are.
Okay. And you remember, there's a time on a movie set, particularly late at night, where everything just sort of stops. For no particular reason. It's just the engine shuts down. Everybody disappears, and it'll come back together in an hour or so, but it's just the whole thing dies of its own weight at some point.
Yes.
So I'm walking around Mescal, which is essentially this deserted village. I turn a corner, and what do I see in the middle of the street? I see George Cosmatos. And what George Cosmatos is doing is this. He's got a can of cheese.
Yes, of course.
He's spraying cheese into his mouth with his right hand, and in his left hand is his dick. And he's taking a piss. He's in the middle of the street pissing and spraying cheese into his mouth. Hey, and listen to me, Pan, if you're listening to this, I say this with all affection because I was very fond of your father. But if I'd been spraying cheese and pissing, I would expect somebody to bring it up also, and he was doing it in the middle of the street. It's not like he was, embarrassed about it. And I thought, God, I wish I had a camera.
Oh,
It was before cell phones or anything like that.
Yes.
I'd really like a photo of this because it was the most. It was.
Do you know his son?
His son Pan, I do know him. I've spoken to him. He's a filmmaker and a very good filmmaker. And my son Noah knows him, but I've spoken with Pan.
Well, I had, and again, I had a different experience with George than you, and I was introduced to him, and then I watched him directing, and I watched how foul he was with people, and he always felt to me, Stephen, that like if you were Kurt or Val or me or you, if you were above the thing, he'd kiss your ass, but if you were some camera operator or whatever, he'd treat you like shit. That was kind of what I saw a lot with him, and at one point, I heard him say, and I think that they were fined by the Arizona film
Labor Board or something?
Labor Board, yeah, over the fact that he would say things like, "Tell the extra with the big tits."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, George had his failings.
The other one, no, not you, the one with the big tits.
Yeah. Yes. So so the next time he approached me as an actor, I just said, "Go fuck yourself."
I did one more for him.
And I never spoke to him again.
Yeah.
And I never spoke to Val. Let me tell you one other thing about Val and I. And you know the famous scene in the movie, which is "I'll Be Your Huckleberry"?
Yeah.
That scene was shot second unit. Did you know that?
It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know it.
Yeah.
No.
So that was just me, Val, Fraker, a sound guy, and maybe a camera operator, because I can't imagine Fraker holding his own camera.
No, he couldn't.
So
hold
that
his
was
own
like
camera.
5 of us. Val went out the day before to rehearse the scene and decided to do it right next to each other and circle each other and everything. But my relationship with Val, like where you said, well, I'll just take the first fucking 60 seconds of you and then tell, and that is I never fucking spoke to Val. People ask me about Val Kilmer. I'm like, I don't know. I never fucking met him. I never talked to him. When we went out to rehearse that scene, it was only because Jim Jacks said, like, we got this scene coming up, and we both wanted to do a good job. So he drove out in his car, I drove out in my car. But there wasn't any, hey, Val, how you... We never shook hands, never treated each other with any kind of, like, familiarity, never went out with him.
Kind of works, though, for Ringo and
no, it
and
does.
Doc. I mean,
it
that's
does.
the
And
thing.
it seemed to me that the Cowboys, me and you and Powers and John Corbett, and it seemed to me like that we used to hang out, and Val and Kurt, because if they had that connection, used to kind of hang out quite a bit.
Val and Kurt became very close on the thing, but we went out a lot. I was closest to Tommy. Church and I, where we were ass buddies on that thing, and so everything. But in any case, you're going to have to turn this into a 2-part podcast. The first one being exclusively about Tombstone.
You were the one who said you weren't
Sorry,
done with
I shouldn't. I just had.
I'm sure the fans are happy with it. Trust me.
Yeah, well, they probably heard some of this stuff before, even because it's like I'm an old broken record. I think.
Well, no, they've heard it from me. Okay, well, look.